So I'm with Gary Riddle today from Marc Pro. It's a company that deals with some innovative technologies for sports recovery. So I'm going to let Gary actually explain what we're doing today and why.
Okay, well, Jeff, what we're doing is activating your muscles in and around the area that's tired and sore to help decongest it, to bring in nourishment and flush out waste. It's literally that simple. It's active recovery without you doing any work. And that is the reason that it's so effective, because active recovery has a downside when you're doing it manually. You will get tired.
So normally I would use a TENS unit, or I'd go home and use ice. Why is this a better technology than those two things? I know a lot of people don't really understand what they're doing. They just follow the directions of either what a doctor told them a long time ago or what they think helps. What's the difference between this technology and, say, TENS and ice?
Well, let's pick TENS first. TENS is a very good product. It's designed to interrupt the signal of pain. That's its purpose. Goes in the gate theory, which is to distract you so that you don't feel your pain. And it works. It doesn't solve the problem, but it gives you relief. And that's
Now,
a good thing.
it doesn't solve the problem because it doesn't pump out all the crap that the lymphatic system is supposed to clear?
It merely distracts you. It's literally a technique to distract you so that you feel the signal from the TENS machine, not your signal of pain. That's all it's for. It's not to correct anything. It's not to decongest the area. And that's not a negative.
Mm-hmm.
That's what TENS is for.
So what it's really doing is it's allowing your body to naturally heal like it's supposed to. And this technology does something different from what I understand, right?
And what the TENS is doing is allowing you to not feel the pain. Okay? It's not healing you.
So this technology is really a way to expedite the natural healing process?
I like to say normalize as opposed to expedite. Expedite would mean to speed up. I don't like the idea of speeding anything up that the human body has figured out. I got to figure my innate intelligence is smarter than me. But what I want to do is I want to decongest the area, flush it with nourishment, and remove the related waste via muscle activation so that we get an increased flow in and simultaneously an increased flow out. As a result, the area decongests and now you've normalized the rate of healing.
So when people instinctively put ice on an injured body part, correct me if I'm wrong, what they're really doing is numbing the area, potentially dangerously numbing the area, and really stopping the healing process for a bit, correct?
Delaying the process, because when the tissue rewarms, the inflammatory response will resume and the body will then correct the issue. So it isn't that ice prevents healing, it delays healing. And it causes a couple other issues. It not only delays healing, it increases swelling, it causes additional damage, and it shuts off the signals that alert you to harmful movement, and you need movement to solve the problem. And the reason that you need the movement is your lymphatic system, which is how the waste is evacuated, is passive.
So correct. Let me ask you this question. There's other ways to do the same thing, but it may A, take longer, or B, if you don't understand kinesiology, if you're trying to do active movement by, say, wiggling your toes for an ankle injury or something else, you have to make sure your movement is correct to actually clear the congestion. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yes, correct. It's a global situation when you're trying to decongest an area, so it's pretty hard to do it wrong.
Okay.
If you did your right hand and your left foot was problems, it's not going to fix it.
So using
close.
something like this unit that uses wave technology, one of the advantages, you can see the thing shaking because I got it in my hand using the therapy, but I think one of the positive parts, and correct me if I'm wrong, is I could fall asleep, let this thing do its work, and probably give me far more clearance, because who can walk for 5 hours at a time, or 2 hours, or however long I want to use this therapy? Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah, but that's the big point, is that you're designed to do this yourself. The body's designed to self-heal, but via muscle activation. That's how the lymphatics work. That's how the increased blood flow to the area to bring in the nourishment works, by muscle activation.
So the worst thing you can do if you've got an injury, they tell you to stay off it for a while, and there are some benefits perhaps for staying off of it, but still using some sort of active muscle therapy to clear the congestion, which is also part of the reason you're feeling pain.
I don't buy into the stay off it idea. I prefer to say, do not increase the problem. So if you said, well, it's my ankle, well, then you shouldn't go run on your ankle. But if you can go on the couch and do ankle pumps and contract the muscles in your quads with no pain, no increased pain, well, then do that.
So for me, I've come to this therapy because I've done a lot of research. And for me, what I thought, I could do ankle pumps, which takes, it takes active, I have to think about what I'm doing and stay doing it for an extended period of time, where with this therapy, due to my research, I can put the electrodes where they need to be, close my eyes, and just chill and have it do it for me.
Correct. And let's do a real thing. Can you get the video so it's showing how your muscles are being activated right now?
Here you go.
Okay, let's just take a look. Now you see how your muscles are activating? See all around? Everything's moving? Okay, now watch. Let's turn the unit off. Now you do it manually.
I can't even get as much activation manually as I want. I think that's what I was trying to explain to people when I did my research about this technology. Sometimes, what is the right way to activate this muscle? I'm not even getting the movement on my own, and I don't really know how to get the movement on my own.
And when you have a device that provides the stimulus, you can be very precise, activate exactly what you're trying to do with no effort on your part.
So audience, what I'm going to explain later is the importance of the lymphatic system. So Gary will touch on it in a second, we'll expand on it later, but the reason we're doing this muscle activation is not just to prevent muscle atrophy like people think tools like this are for. What we're doing here in this application is to work with the lymphatic system in your favor, and I'll let Gary explain it a little more.
Well, it's very simple how the lymphatic system works. It's one of the great miracles of our body, actually. Without it, by the way, we don't exist anymore. And there are about 165,000 miles of lymphatic vessels in your body. And the way that I like to explain it to people that have never looked, although you can Google it and look, and just Google lymphatic system, and it'll come up and you'll see a nice drawing. If you looked at the lymphatic system, it looks like this. If you looked at your arteries and veins, they look like this. There are so many more miles of lymphatic vessels compared to your arteries and veins, but nearly everybody understands, has heard of their arteries and veins.
So there is some science behind healing on what the lymphatic system is supposed to do. And we'll talk about that in a different video. And all these other therapies, whether you believe it or not, Reiki therapy, acupuncture, cupping, all these other things, a lot of them do really, whether they know it or not, they're doing something to try to stimulate the lymphatic system, correct?
Well, I don't know of any therapy that's legitimate that doesn't try to increase circulation. That's how the body heals. If you deprive the body of circulation, it will rot.
So on that principle, and I'll cut out this video, we'll talk about more later, but rest, ice, compression, elevation, really the opposite of healing, correct? What we're talking about right now is trying to use active therapy to continue the healing process. So rice, what people or believe in at this point, may not be the appropriate approach, correct?
No, I won't go with may not at all. It's not a may not, it's not. And in fact, the godfather of the Ice Age, a physician by the name of Gabe Merkin, board certified in 4 medical professions, literally made up the Rice Protocol in his 1978 sports medicine book. You can Google Dr. Gabe Merkin, ICE, and you will see that he has publicly recanted. He said, I made it up in my 1978 book. I was wrong. You shouldn't ice. It delays healing. And in fact, the R is also wrong.
Okay, so let's summarize this. Rice ain't nice. And I'm going to explain to you later with the help of Gary, and I'm going to give you some resources you can Google on your own so you can see the peer science, medical review science, that what you probably have been doing and been told all along by your doctor that may not be educated is rice ain't nice, and ice, depending on how you're using it, probably not nice. Little bit of ice for a limited amount of time might not cause so much damage, but how you're probably using it, 15 minutes, rest, 15 minutes again, for a couple hours a day is probably definitely wrong, and we're going to show you why.
Absolutely agree.